Recorded live with little or no editing, it's Defense Up. I'm Run7. How you doing? If you are a content creator and you are interested in joining the Non-Voice, please contact me. Just my Discord's link is in the description. Contact me. We can get you that application. We are looking to fill a few spots in the Non-Void group, and there's some good people out there, like this guy who I'm going to review right now. Pathfinder is starting to put out some content, and he's showing some real potential. Check out his videos. I am going to try and lure him in to the Non-Void community so we can start getting some good videos from him. All right. If you've never been here before, we grade on 5 different criteria. It's who you're using, their placement, their power levels, their ISOs, and what kind of mood I'm in. If you're in a hurry, you can check the descriptions below for the teams that we're going to be going over. You just grab that slider, roll till you see them up here in the window. I always put my finger out of the screen, but like that. And you can cut right to the chase. Team number 1, Heroes for Hire. So, proper ISOs, incorrect placement, and your power level's just a touch low. So what I want to see here is I want to see the ISO readies, which will probably get your power level pretty close to 400. Anything over 400 on a full Heroes for Hire team is going to require the Infinity Watch to come in and counter it. So that's all you really need to do. You just need to make sure that they have to use an Infinity Watch. So 400 power level, bring up the War Readies. And as for your placement, I want to see Iron Fist in place of Misty Knight. Swap those two. The thinking is that splash damage comes off of Luke Cage, and if this person right here already has some damage, they'll be the second target, and you don't want one of these 3 to be target number 2. All right, looking good. Otherwise, I'm going to give you the A- for this team. You're on track. Just swap that placement and start filling out those ISOs. Team number 2, S6 with Doc Ock. Now, more and more, I'm telling people to get rid of Doc Ock on this team. Just run the OG Sinister 6. Let him fold. Who cares? It's just a filler team. Hopefully it's got a decent enough number that they're having to bring in something with some synergy, and it's just using up some of their energy. But the thing is that you can put Doc Ock on a hybrid team and get a lot more value out of him. Whereas if he's on this team, it's gonna die. He's gonna die. It doesn't matter how much bigger he is. Like, he's more than twice as powerful as anybody on his team, which does make this a deceiving number. You probably get some DVs on that alone, so props there. But if somebody comes in here with a Symbiotes or an Axeman, they're gonna chew these guys up, and they're gonna have such momentum and speed built up that they'll be able to roll over your Doc Ock, even with him being as powerful as he is. I'd like to see him at the level 3 healer status. He's a great character, still has a lot of value. You want to take advantage of it while you can. The rest of these guys, just get them up to war ready status. I like Rhino as a raider rather than a fortifier. The ISOs on these guys don't matter so much. It's skirmisher, striker, or raider, kind of your choice. Personally, I think Electro is a better striker. I think Swarm is a better skirmisher. And then skirmisher or striker on Mysterio is kind of how I like it, but really, they don't matter. This team is just going to be a filler. This Doc Ock has built up way too much to be wasting him on this garbage. So I think this is kind of a waste of resources. However, I'm going to give you a little bit of extra credit for this deceiving power level that you've got going on here. I bet you might still catch some people off guard. I'm going to give you just a solid C for this team. Over here we have Young Avengers. Get rid of this team. This team sucks. I hate this team. Total garbage. What can I say? You got strikers on everybody, skirmisher on Miss Marvel. That's great. That's how it's supposed to be. You need war ready status, but man, these characters are just not worth investing in. Oh, I hate to do that. Squirrel Girl has uses as a plug and play character. Miss Marvel can be used as a plug and play character on certain teams. Captain Marvel, of course, is a good plug and play character, although she's power crept to no end. At this point, you might consider switching her over to a healer rather than a striker. Chavez and Miles, I'm sorry, they need reworks bad. You know, 7 red stars on Chavez, that's unfortunate. She hits like a truck last year, but not anymore. She's power crept. It's over. They need reworks. This whole team needs a rework. They need a 5th. It's terrible. So I just don't like this team at all. However, what you're doing is correct. You've got the proper placement. You've got the proper ISOs. Just bring up the war ready status, but man, get ready to dump this team when you have something better. Right now it's just a filler. Technically I gotta give you the B for it because you're not wasting anything. It's just you've already over invested in a garbage team. Team number 4, Hydra 1.0. Okay, this is one of those teams where ISOs don't matter so much. I kind of like throwing Fortifier on everybody because it makes Red Skull harder to get through if he has defense down. It makes all these guys spawn with some amount of hit points extra, you know, as much as like 45,000 extra hit points. That isn't that much when a lot of the tunes in everybody's roster is doing like 50,000 or more on their basic. I mean, I think Gamora's doing like 100,000 on her basic or something stupid like that. Yeah, but it's kind of fun to just to put Fortifier on everybody. However, technically speaking, this is correct. This is the correct ISO. This is the correct ISO. Over here, you've got Skirmisher, which I see a lot of people doing, and it's okay. I personally like doing Raider because on Trooper, he's spraying everybody. When he dies and comes in, he sprays everybody. And having a Striker or a Raider on that helps. Plus his attack is a lot of AoE stuff. So Skirmisher's fine though. It's not even, well, at 1, I don't know, you might try others and see what you get. Get them up to war ready levels. Placement is fine. Your power levels are fine. This is just a filler team. If you want to make this better, throw Zemo in here. It really screws things up for other people. But as is, it's a good filler team. Get them up to war ready status, maybe top off that last star over there. I think it's a B team. Nothing special, but you're not wasting anything either. You also, there's some good offensive uses for Red Skull and some of these other tunes. Number 5, PymTech. Everybody hates PymTech. They're kind of useless. This is another absolute filler team. You have definitely over invested in this team with this 623. My goodness. However, if you are going to overinvest in this team, you at least put it in the right places. What in the world are you doing taking her up that high? 3 rings on this girl? Oh my god. That's crazy. That's just crazy. I do like your ISOs. I like the ISOs on this team. It's pretty good. Your placement, let's put Ant-Man to the outside and put Wasp in the center. You probably got Wasp to the outside because she's the squishiest, but her kit has a lot of dodge built into it. If you have the right ability mats in her, she doesn't need to be that thick because she's just not going to get hit. She's just going to dodge everything. So put her in the middle, put Ant-Man to the outside because he's drawing a taunt a lot of the times. And then I think you're doing everything just fine with this team other than you've already over-invested into it. I don't like the waste of resources, but if you're hardcore and you like this team and you want to build them, then fine. I'm going to give you the A- for this. Anybody else who does not have this team built up, I would totally fail you if you went from like 0 to 623 on this team. It's just not good at all. Okay. Team number 6. Here we got a Doom Brotherhood again. I'm not sure I like the ISOs on this team. I want to see Skirmisher on Blob. He retaliates when he is hit and he's taunting a lot, so he's retaliating a lot. Make sure you have the ability mats in there to match that ISO. I like Skirmisher on Toad. Fortifier on Juggernaut is probably not necessary. I think maybe you should go with a Raider on him. Get a few more of the vulnerables out on the field. I like Raider on Mags. You can also use Striker on him, but I think on this build you want to have as many vulnerables on the field as possible. That way when Doom goes boom, there's an extra 10% on everybody on the field. Placement's great. Man. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, change that ISO for sure. That's the big one. Change that ISO for sure. Change this ISO while you're at it. Get them up to war ready status. Probably bring their power levels up again. We're seeing this huge Doom in here, and the support team isn't big enough to carry that kind of weight. So I think bringing these guys all up over 100 is going to make this a better team. It's going to be a more formidable number, and you're going to draw in those bigger offensive teams, which you may not get more defensive victories. You may actually get less defensive victories when you get a big scary number up here because people won't mess around with it. But the point of every team other than Heroes for Hire is to draw in useful offensive teams so that you can mix it up with a hybrid at the very end of your roster. So get those big scary numbers in there. All right, did I get this a grade? Robocall. I'm going to give this a solid B. A solid B. It needs some work, but you're on the right track. Team number 7 is a Mercs with Shuri and Killmonger. You've got a huge number in here. So everybody's going to be coming into this with Skilletary. It's time to get rid of Shuri and put in Ultimus. A decent-sized Skilletary is going to tear this team apart, and you need to start protecting it. X-Force cannot scale this high. They just can't deal with this anymore. Bring up the power level on your Merc Lieutenant. He is a little bit squishy at 84 comparatively. Your Riot Guard is going to be fine at 84 because he's got a thicker health bar. Let's see what else. I'm not sure I like the placement. Nah, the placement's fine. Yeah, swap Shuri out for Ultimus. You might consider starting to build some sort of like a tech defense with Shuri. Like, you know, get some red stars on Ultron and put Shuri in there and some other people or something like that. It's an idea, but the thing is that Skilletary can still tear this team apart, and you've got such a big investment in it. You want to protect the team from its worst counter, which is Skilletary, and Ultimus does that. ISOs. Oh, wow, your ISOs suck. Okay. Taskmaster. You have a 7 red star Taskmaster like me. Just go ahead and max this guy out, make him a skirmisher. Everybody else needs to be striker. If you're going to run Ultimus, you can keep Lieutenant as a healer, but you have such a low investment, you might consider putting him as a striker also. Definitely want striker on everybody else. That way you'll maximize the damage potential of your Taskmaster. Yeah. I know Killmonger has synergy with Raider, but on this team, you want him as a striker. All right, you know, I feel like it's a big waste of resources how you have this team set up this way, and with Shuri. Like, you have such a huge investment here, but you're doing so many things wrong, so I'm going to give you a C for that. I really don't like it. Make those changes. Team number 8. This is why I ask people to send me just a regular full screenshot and let me do the editing, because this right here where I'm missing part of the shot just drives me absolutely out of my mind. That's okay though. We got enough to work with. We can see what's going on. It's a symbiote team. It's a big symbiote team. It's got the blue ISOs. It's got proper placement. It's got the correct ISOs, actually. A lot of people run Scream as a striker. She, as I just recently learned, has really good damage. She's like 23rd or something. So it's okay. Yeah. I like what I see here. Skirmisher works. I think I run mine as a skirmisher just so that I get the clears to clear the debuffs. So I'm going to give you an A for this team. I think you're doing just fine. All right, team number 9. Emmarauders. I like what I see. I like what I see here. I would like to see him as a Raider. On his Weapon X team, he absolutely has to be Raider. On this team, he should also be a Raider. She should be a skirmisher. Get Mystique to a skirmisher. You could consider putting in Wolverine here in place of Mystique if you want to build that Wolverine up in preparation of the Weapon X team, or you just want to build up Wolverine because he's worth investing in now. He does great on the Uncanny. He does great on this team when he is with Sabretooth. They have some synergy. They build up each other's speed or something. I don't know. I got to review that. But he's good on this team is all I'm saying. He actually does some damage and stuff. Great numbers. You're going to be drawing in a big Shadowlands team or a big X-Factor team with this. So there's not much you can really do to beat the counters, but right now we're trying to extend our defenses to make sure we fill all 10 slots, and we are looking at some older metas to make that happen. And so for right now, this is what we're using for this team, is the old school meta, not anything hybrid or anything. We're using plug and play characters to make new teams. I like what you're doing here. Switch those ISOs out. That's an A-. Over here is team number 10. Now this is pretty good. I like this. So the Inhuman hybrid that we see with Surfer and Coulson, and now we're getting Deathpool in here too. I like to run over this team with Secret Avengers is what I used to use. Now, the thing is that when they put in Kestrel, like what Pathfinder has done, putting in Kestrel really kind of hurts because now Maria and Fury, they can't bring in their summons, or if they do, they're not going to last long. Anyway, so this really screws up that Secret Avenger counter, and I really like that. Although, I think you can build better other really good teams with Kestrel. This is just like a super duper uber team, right? Like somebody might come into this with their Black Order or something. Like if they had an equivalent Black Order and punch a cross on it, they might try that. Even that would be kind of scary though. This is a really tough team. I think what I would end up doing is taking Maria Hill and Fury off of the Secret Avengers team and finding some other fits, like maybe putting in New Warriors or something in place of that. Trying to find some kind of a hybrid counter. I'd have to stop and think about it. So this is a cool little hybrid right here. The only thing is, until we start getting, like, if you get some more defensive teams out in the upcoming months, I would be using her on a different defense. Spread it out a little bit more, because you've got some junk filler teams that we saw earlier in the list. And I think you could build a potent defense with her and some other people, and instead just put Crystal back in here or something like that. However, if you're running this team, and it is a very good team, I just think we should be spreading things out a little bit more. If you're running this team, you've got level 3 striker on her, and you've got no level 3 skirmisher, adding the double vulnerable for her to play off of. So, wow, you don't have anybody to make a skirmisher either. Deathpool as a raider, that's interesting also. I like Deathpool as a striker. Silver Surfer as a healer now on war defense. The heals and his self-healing and everything is so monstrous at the high end that you could do that. I see people running him as a raider because of raids. Because the way the Mystic Raid team works, he's doing his alt and sometimes his special and never his basic. So there's no point in making him a striker to get those vulnerable attacks, because he's never going to do it. Or he's not going to do much of it anyway. So people are using him as a raider because they're using those attacks and they're doing AoE damage and stuff with it. I mean, of course, he can still, do his bonus attack off of his special and his ultimate, but yeah, people are doing it as raider. Anyway, let's go striker 3, raider 3. I don't see anybody that it's worth to change to a skirmisher level 3. Coulson needs to be a raider. You need to bring up his power level a little bit to hang with this team. He's not adding a lot to this team because you don't have Yo-Yo in here. I think that's probably who you're going to want to put in place of Kestrel, actually, is Yo-Yo, not Crystal, but you could do Crystal too. But yeah, I think if you're going to run Coulson, put Yo-Yo in here. You know what you could do? You could put Yo-Yo in place of Coulson and bring her up as a level 3 skirmisher. That might work too. And then you'd have some of those big vulnerables to punch off of. But you got 2 raiders, 3 skirmishers. There's not enough vulnerables on the field, even if they're not the level 3 ISO. So you've got some choices with this team. It's a good team. You got a different couple directions that you can go with it. And I kind of like everything you're doing. It's just you need to really focus in one direction. Are you going to get a level 3 skirmisher in here? Are you going to switch somebody back to something else instead? Your choice, man. But it's a good team. I'm going to say it's a B+ for me. I would like to see you take her out and build a different defense to replace some of these, come on. Young Avengers, what is this crap? We could do better. We can do better. All right, if you like what you saw, please like, subscribe, all the usual stuff. If you want your defense featured on Defense Up, then contact me in my Discord. Links are in the description below. And remember, don't just have a good game, be good to yourselves and each other too. I'll catch you next time. Bye.